2, 1. Hey guys, Rockin' Robbo back here with some more Banished. Now last time I started this village, Chunkersonville, a quality name, but the audio didn't record for it because my microphone was just fucked and I'm going to need a new one. But anyway, so this time I'm going to come back to it, go over a few of the things I did last time, a few of the decisions I made. So I suppose first point will be going with the crops. So you'll notice I did all of them 88 by 15 this way. That is the most efficient way for one worker to gather food from a crop. You're guaranteed to get between, depending upon the ones you've got, between about 500 and 700 resources each. Now, because one person needs 100, each of these is feeding between 5 and 7 people, which is obviously doing fine for now, especially with the fishing dock doing quite nicely over here. So we're doing okay for food, as we are for the firewood. We could really do with this being built though, but I'll put it on slow because there's a few things I want to talk about first before flying off into more. Oh god, that was a crap position for that. Sorry for this. I like everything to look very nice when I play this game. It's one of my main things, and obviously it doesn't. That was deliberate, I remember that. So I need that built soon. The tailor and the blacksmith are two of the most important things early game after you've got your food running. There's a bit of a debate over which one is better. I personally prefer the tailor of the two. The reason for this being, your people will still work even if they don't have tools. They won't be as efficient, but they'll still work. However, if a person is too cold, they will stop working and go home. So that is why I prioritise a tailor, because I would rather have them being inefficient at their job than them just not working but having an awesome tool to do it. So that's my thought on the matter. I just realised how crap this starting position was as well. I mean, this is awful. I don't even have much of a river to work with. This is not going to get a particularly high population, I don't think, because I won't stay on it that long. I'll just stay on it long enough. I mean, I wouldn't usually build a tunnel that early, but I kind of need a second area to build my second group of these buildings, so build that there. Well, I mean, you can call them various different things, nodes, outposts, whatever you want really, but they all serve the same purpose, and that's getting you the resources you need in that area. Now, there's two different ideas of how these should be built up. Some people prefer to put houses nearby so that people have sort of somewhere close to sort of live and then go home. I placed that awfully. Ah well. It's no big deal, that won't be there forever anyway, but I personally choose to just do a few of these. I don't put the houses there because it takes up a lot of space, because if you think one of these would usually have those 4 buildings plus a woodcutter if it's out of the way. That's 4, 8, 11, 13, 14 builders, which means you're looking at probably 5 or 6 houses. So that's sort of another 20 to 24 squares that you're not getting trees on. Makes a big difference. So that's my personal view. Like I say, you can put them there, sort of put them there and there, but I won't. That's just personal opinion though. Everybody has their own. So the basics gone, I guess we'll pump it up to ×5 speed. We won't do ×10, we'll just do ×5. So can't really do too much at the minute because we're quite early in the game. When I start getting trading posts, that's when it starts to get interesting. So I should actually look to set up a second woodcutter somewhere. I think here. You always want them near your stockpiles so they can just, when they got their wood sort of chopped, they can drop it off straight away. Might have a few too. I don't know. I'm always very worried about my population spiraling out of control. That's the one thing that'll end you. And wow, Pepper, you are just doing so crap at the minute, aren't you? I will admit, Pepper's not one of the greatest ones to get. Wheat will be one of my top ones. Wheat, beans, squash is okay because that tends to get farmed early, which is good on maps with harsh conditions, because you tend to get very early frosts on that. So that's a reason for them. Things I don't build, I won't build a chapel. Your happiness will only really go down if you don't have much food, if the people are cold, or if they're not particularly healthy. So they're just the way. I mean, if you look how big it is, that is a lot of squares you're giving up. So personally, I wouldn't. I will get a town hall though at some point. Not yet, but I will at some point. There's just so little land to work with at the beginning here. It's really irritating. Then again, in a way, it makes it a bit more interesting. I'm going to put one person in there. I only collect iron. I used to go through sort of... I'd collect coal to make them use that instead of the firewood, but firewood is so easy to make that the coal isn't necessary. You only need it to make steel tools, and because of how quick people tend to use it, it's not very easy to get the tools made. So I do want to go for stone houses sooner or later, but I don't have anywhere to put a quarry, and that's a bit of a problem. I'm actually in the minority of people. I prefer quarries. A lot of people tend to get their stone by buying it from trading posts. I don't. I love quarries. I think they're great. The problem is they're so big that it's finding an area where you can put them. Also, when they do get depleted, they're there. You've still got this massive thing that is still there, and you can't use that area, which is a downside. But I prefer quarries just because it's 7, depending on the trader, I think it's between 7 and 10 resources for one bit of stone. That's a lot to spend to get some stone. So I'll usually set up quite a few quarries by the end, but I don't know where exactly on this map. May have to look. Might put a couple like around here back to back if I can, but stone isn't a major issue for now. Are we mining all this stuff down here? We are not. We need to be chopping all this stuff up and picking up all these rocks. I'll take a few people off building because we don't have much stone at the minute, so they can't build anything even if they wanted to. I'm happy with how it's going. The thing is, my food supply is good. An early game, that's all you've really got to worry about, since you'll easily make enough firewood to sustain sort of the people's heat. Oh, of course, that's one short of what I'd need. I've not put any orchards down yet. I could do, because how much room have we got here? 10. They're 4 by 15, and you do it this way. No, you don't do it that way, sorry. Now, there's a good reason. I always forget until I've actually placed it. There's a good reason for it. It's because if you do your orchard 15 by 4 this way, so left to right, you will get, what is it, 16 trees, I believe. And if you do it that way, you will only get 10. And it's all based upon how the game generates them in the orchard. So it generates more going this way as opposed to that way. It's silly how just a little thing like that can make such a big difference, but I wouldn't personally get orchards unless you've got a very small space to use. Then no, just because what orchards are good for is making you ale later in the game. Right now they're not going to do much for you, so I'm going to boost the speed up again because we're not really getting anywhere at the minute. Actually, I forgot to put this down near the I know there's stockpiles nearby, but Another little one there is not gonna hurt. Okay, we're mining that stuff. Food's looking good. I could change my peppers to wheat, but a big thing in keeping people's health up is having a varied diet. So right now they're having fish, they're having grains in the wheat, and they're having peppers, so they've got vegetables. Of course, you stack that on top of the gatherer's hut and the hunting cabin, and their diet is full. Whereas if I just made all of this wheat, we'd have more food, but because their diet isn't varied enough and they're not getting everything they need, then we'd be running into health problems. So that's why you've got to always keep a solid supply of every resource being made, sort of, when it comes to food. Even though pepper isn't great, because whoop, that was a mistake. So I got 534 out of that. 532, bad year for wheat. Only on that one though. It's weird how they can be so different. I mean, I know there's like a few yards. It depends. If you have an early frost hit, that can really mess you up. We can go for a blacksmith. We have plenty of iron and logs, so that'll be fine. Get people working a bit faster. What are you mining down here? Get the stone. That's what we need, you stupid people. Oh, that's good. We've got the hunter's cabin coming along. I haven't got any clothes, so I could really do with that getting built quick. Yeah, these little bits are what win you the early game, really. So do the farms, or the crops, sorry, but these do as well. Late game, they won't do much at all, and to be honest, once you've hit 1k plus, you're going to want to start getting rid of, not all of them, because, well, you could do all of them because you're going to be getting all your meat from your sheep and your chickens and your cows. And you'll be buying all your fruit and veg from the trading post, so you don't really need these or your farms anymore. You replace them with woodcutters and houses and stockpiles. Because if you think, this is a big area to put a bunch of houses. End game. So that's how the game goes, you know. These aren't efficient, these areas, anymore as you get to late game, and that's all what about the late game is. I'm tempted to just get a trading post going to see if I could trade for a better fucking vegetable. I mean, god damn, these peppers are awful. If I could guarantee that I'd get beans early, I would do it. Is a trading post worth the risk? It's a lot of resources to dump into it, but beans are just so good. If you get beans, you're set. Beans and wheat, they're the two main ones. With squash as a next one. That one's coming along a bit poorly, but none of you have freaking tools, do you? So that's fine, because we've got him working on that now. We've got... Stop moving! Have we had any ridiculous... Dangler? Okay, we got some of the good names coming through. Ball. Demon. We've got Demon. We haven't had Oral yet. And yes, that is the name of one of the people that will spawn sooner or later. The names are randomized, but they sort of superglue two names together in some interested, like, Hadasandria. What the... Lashandria. Why have I got all these exotic names already? You usually get boring ones early, but nope, we get Winnie Freddy. And Malay, we got a country born here. Okay. It's just a batshit crazy run at the minute. Okay, that's building up quite nicely. They've collected all the stone, that's good. And the trees are building up quickly thanks to all the foresters. So this is looking pretty good. This is going well. I'm liking this. Like I say, I won't run this map long because my starting area is pretty poor, and to get anywhere nearby that's reasonable, I have to spend a lot of resources. Like, that would be a great area because you get a group there of foresters, a group there, a group there, and a group there. So you can get 4 lots of them going, stick a marketplace in the middle, and they're trading resources. Oh, get a couple of herbalists going because we need to sort of, well, the health is good at the minute, but we need those just to make sure we've got some medicine. That ain't going to help once diphtheria or something like that pops up, so you need a hospital, but not yet. No need for it yet. I wonder if... it's 1, 2... That's annoying. I don't know where I should put this school, in all honesty. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know, it's kind of risky going for an early school. It can be good because it educates your people and that makes them better at their jobs. But it puts you behind in terms of development because a person, when they hit 10, will go to school and they won't come out until they're 18. They'll be educated, but that's 8 years where you've not had them doing anything, which at this stage could be quite bad. But I haven't done it for a while, so let's bang a school there. Can we prioritise that? We're not having any really cold winters at the minute. If this was on harsh conditions, every winter would be. So that's why when you do on harsh conditions, like your tailor and 1 or 2 hunters' cabins are needed within the first year, basically. Okay, that's looking good. We're actually in the positive now for tools, which is good. Going to keep making them, obviously, just so we've got a nice stockpile. Yeah, you don't tend to need many blacksmiths through the games. Like on one I'm running at the minute, I've got 2 going, and one of them has 5 and the other has 6, and they're both over 700 population at this point. I may at the end of this one actually show you, I don't think I've got any of my really old ones on here. I tend to delete them after a while, but I have got a reasonably old one, I think, that I looked at recently. That we can just show off the sort of stuff you need once you get late game. Okay, food is looking good. We're going to be making a bit out of these. Do I fill it up? I could do for now, actually. There we go. It leaves plenty of people still as labourers, because you always need a few, because when someone dies, a labourer will go and take their place. I told you to prioritise that, not houses, you freaking idiots. I mean, that's not bad because the people are splitting off, but by the way, it doesn't matter where you put your houses, the people just live where they want. So, a person could have a farm over here, but they could be living in a house down here. It's really stupid at times. Now, there's no point in putting a woodcutter there. I know I've got the resources there, but a market would be good about there one day, but obviously for now that's not a big necessary thing. Markets are great because you can put resources in there and it'll get distributed around by your vendors, so they're useful to have later on. Could we oh no, it's 10 by 10 there, isn't it? Or sorry, not 10 by 10, but that's what the area is, so I can't fit that in there, which is a shame. That would have been quite handy to have around there. I'll get to the end of Spring 6 and then we'll take a look at something else. I'll line up this as well. Not building that anytime soon, but it'd be good to have it ready to go once I am looking to spread out to that area. Maybe need to get another storage barn just here. That way it's right next to my second fishing dock. The closer these storage barns are, the less distance they have to go to put the resources away, so... Ah, damn, one square. Gutting. There's one thing I don't like, well there's a few I suppose about Banished, but you know, for a game made by one developer, it's freaking amazing by one guy, so... It's just stockpiles. I wish you could have a 1x1. There's a mod that lets you do that, but obviously if you've got the mods on, you can't do the achievements. Not exactly a problem for me at this point, but you know. Oh, to help with the frame rate, you'll notice it looks a lot worse than last time. I took a lot of the effects off. That's because when you get at higher populations, the frame rate just goes through the goddamn floor. You can also use a mod, again, not good if you're going for achievements, but that will actually turn off the smoke effects, which also will save you some FPS as well. So, late game, turn off your shadows and a few of your other graphics and use that mod if you want to get to a reasonably high population. I don't know how high a population I could get to on this map in particular. Mainly because of the poor starting area, so it's having to expand quite a lot to actually get anywhere, and because this good area is so far away from the river, it would be quite hard to sustain off of that without sort of several marketplaces and maybe even just running a full area of crops down here. So not a good map. I can't remember what the seed is, but if you go to the first episode, then you'll see, and make sure you don't use that one, because it's not good. We're getting so much firewood. It's nice to see, but I've got no use for it at the minute. Look at all the food. We're looking great. We're in great shape at the minute. Loads of food, loads of firewood, quite a few materials. Can you build this already? There's got to be some more stone. There's a little bit here, isn't there? Yeah. Get all that. And all that. There we go. This is why I get a quarry. See, even with one person working, you're getting a constant supply of stone. So, let's just see. Would we be able to set up... okay, so you can get one there. And one there. It's not a terrible river. I've had worse, but what's funny is in the past I've actually had them go down these little ones like that. I did manage to actually get a trading post on a little bit of a river like that. Yeah, you see, it's not straight enough in most places. That's the problem with this one. This is a nice little bend bit here. So you'd get a nice run of them there. I will say I've played this a bit different than how I would usually. Like, for my own spare time ones, I will spend about 20 minutes planning out all my trading posts and later buildings in some cases. Like, I'll put down about where I'm going to have 4 of these, even though I'll only build 1 at the start. So that sort of saves me a bit of time, because if I can plan out where everything's going to be, then I can sort of prepare from the beginning. Come on, that's nearly done. When that's done, I can put someone in there, and then we'll look at my other maps. Even though it's year 7 now, and I said I'd end at year 6 end. There we go. We'll get somebody in there, and everything is in place now. Basically, this is easily in position to hold its own for quite a while. So we will save it. There. So oh no, John. I can't remember which ones. No, that's a while ago. I think I deleted the other one. Right, overwrite that. So we'll load the one I was playing. I was playing this yesterday. So Freemonton. Load that. This one was running yesterday. I'm going to pause it because I don't know how the frame rate will hold up from recording straight away on one that has 700 plus. So, right, here we go. So as you can see, that has sort of dominated quite a bit of the map. I started here in this little area that, as you can see, I put the quarry nearby. I've got all stone housing. I think there's a few wooden houses around, but if you look at that, number of food, I've got so many textiles, coats, I've got everything going for me in a minute. But look, this I spent 20 minutes just putting all this stuff down, all the bridges, all these trading posts. Like, look at this. I've got 12 going at the minute with 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, with about 20 planned, which would take me up to 32 trading posts, and each of my trading posts have 3,000 firewood in to trade for food and logs. So that's the point we're at right now, and I have plenty of people left over. And as you can see, woodcutters, insanely huge amount. But that's how your village will look. I mean, my current one is only at 740. The goal at the end of this one is to hit 1500. Because after that point, I'd be using basically these corners after that point. Whereas 1500, that will get me basically both sides of the river. And then that'll be it really for that. That's what I tend to go for now. Oh, I've got both these tailors up. So we can... Actually, they both need to be wool ones. I have loads of wool because I have sheep. Get sheep, they're best. I have one lot of cattle, but if you look, last year 1600 beef, 48 leather. Your sheep, 1400 mutton, 102 wool. Hang on, what's up with my sheep? 1800 mutton. That's better. 1400. Oh, I know. I got this third pasture last year of sheep, so I split my sheep off from that one. That's why that's lower. Yeah, you want to be going for sheep more, because obviously you get more food and more sort of materials for clothing. So that's why you want to go for sheep. They're the effective one. But I would have one pasture in there. Again, it just mixes up their diet, so they've got 2 kinds of meat as well as the fish. You can have chickens as well. Chickens are good because they start making food straight away with eggs, but their food is nowhere near what you get out of these two. So one pasture full of chickens. Make sure they're 20 by 20. There's no point getting smaller ones. They're not efficient at all. Oh, and you only need one person working a pasture. You don't need 2. A second person does absolutely nothing except waste one of your workers, basically. So I have a lot of schools set up. I have, 10, so that gets me 200 students. Obviously, that's ahead of what I've got at the minute, but I have a lot of children who are probably getting close to becoming adults. Also, cool fact, I've got Thor. Thor is one of my labourers now. So, yeah. Anyway, how bad is it going to lag? Oh, that's only at ×1. Oh, we've not got much lag at all, actually, at ×10. I mean, I know it's only 700 pop, but look at everybody running around going to their jobs. And massive stock sort of storage barns worth of food. So, but anyway, this is what it will start looking at later games. So, hope you've all enjoyed this. Hope this helps. I will do another episode on the... Oh, fucking hell. Why have we got influenza? Oh, well, that's a thing that happens. I'll do one more episode on the other one that I have going, but then I will probably abandon that that village just because the map is not particularly good, and I'll start doing the achievements guide. I'm not sure which achievement I'll do first. I won't do the hardest ones. I'll sort of like make my way towards them so that you get more experience on the easier stuff first before you jump in and try and do the harder achievements like Mountain Man. Anyway, until next time, thank you all for watching. Hope this has helped, and I hope you'll continue watching the series of this great game. So, see you all next time.